Hello and welcome to my weekly review of the real estate market. My name is Susan, and so I would like to share with you everything that I know so that you guys have a better understanding of what's going on in the real estate market. So I do this weekly, and I hope you guys enjoy all the information that I got to share with you today. So let's get started. So today, if you haven't seen this graph before, I want to go a little bit of review of what this graph is. And so basically every week I go on this graph and I plot all the updates of the real estate market. So I go here and I look at everything that just came onto the market, and that would be the blue line, right? So every new listing that comes on the market, I go and check to see how many there is, and I plot it here. Now this here is the market of freehold in the Toronto area, GTA area. So it includes Durham, Halton, Peel, Toronto, and York. And this is only looking at all the freeholds in this area. And so this blue line means that everything that came onto the market and that is new. And the green line is everything that is sold. And then the yellow line, of course, is everything that's sold over asking. So anything that's listed below market value and then have a selling price higher than that they listed for will be this yellow line. And these are the things I want to look at to indicate what the real estate market is actually doing throughout time. And so you can see this graph has been plotted since the beginning of COVID. That was because that's when I really wanted to figure out that what was going on and to figure out how is the market doing, right? And so, the past is the past. So let's kind of focus on here in 2022. So here you can see that the blue line here is everything that came on the market. It looks like, there hasn't been a spike of inventory, how it was in 2021, where a whole bunch of inventory came on at the same time. This year, it looks like there is a good number of listings. Now, one question a lot of people ask is, or I see media say that there's actually more homes for sale than there is they've ever seen. They're just telling me that there's so many homes on the market. And so that got me curious. I'm like, is that really true? Is there really more homes that are for sale since January till today? Or actually, since January till the end of May is what I wanted to look at. This year than it was last year. And so you know what I did? I actually, if you can see here, I actually added it up. Let's see here. I added it up to see if that is true. So in 2021, I added the first 22 weeks of the year and to see how many listings actually came onto the market. And there were about under 60,000 homes that came on the market. Again, freehold homes that came on the market. And this year, 22 weeks, 51,000. So it looks like there's less home that came on the market for sale this year than there was last year. Although you may feel like there's more listings. Well, then this explains it here. As you can see that the sold line is well below where the blue line is. So there's a lot of sitting inventory. Whereas last year or a couple months ago, as you can see here, that the blue line and the green line is very close to each other. So meaning almost everything that came on the market was absorbed by the market, right? And so you can see that this is the indication here. Now last year, if you can remember, in spring, it felt really hot too. It felt like everything was being sold also. But if you look at the numbers here, everything wasn't being sold. It just felt like everything was being sold because a lot of things were selling in multiple offer. And you can see the graph here last year. Yes, almost everything was selling in multiple offer. So again, this green line is everything that's sold. And this yellow line is everything that's got sold, listed, sold over asking, right? So when you drive around and you see the sold over asking signs, it's this yellow line here. It's kind of an indication that I want to figure out how hot the market is and how the market is doing and what buyers and sellers are doing. So I like to look at this kind of graph. So, again, looking at the graph today, it looks like has been a healthy number of listings that comes on the market, but it's not being absorbed as it was last year or even a couple months ago, right? And I guess that's, of course, due to the interest rates that's been increasing. And so buyers are kind of thinking if they should wait or what to do or see how the market is. But it looks like here the drop of sales is kind of, actually, if you can see, this drop of sale looks more dramatic than kind of this drop of sale here, right? This seems like not as a steep slope as this one here. So buyers are buying, right? There are buyers out there and things are being sold. It's just that now we have sitting inventory because it's not being absorbed as much. And of course, the sold over asking is kind of dying off here. You can not dying off. There's just a lot less. I'll actually share with you a little bit information about sold over asking and how that is in just a minute. So let's take a look at the condos because I usually like to compare the condos. Let me just kind of fix my chart so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, let me zoom out completely. There we go. And let me just zoom in a little bit here. And then just gonna move over here. There we go. A little bit more, a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Like so. Okay. So 416 condos. So all the condos that are within Toronto only. If I do kind of a range, a bigger range, the numbers not so indicating how the condos are doing. I like to keep an eye on what the 416 is doing because that's where all the condos are, like the most highest number of condos, right? And so let's here. Where's my pointer? There you go. So here, let's take a look at what's happening in the condo market. It looks like about the same kind of level of inventory as it was last year. We started off really hot like everybody else, and you can see that the condo market stayed a little bit hotter than it was than the freehold. So you can see the gap again between everything that's sold over asking and everything that's sold. You can see the lines are pretty close. Hold on, let me just make sure that you can see everything. Oh. Sorry, 1 second. I just want to make sure that you can see everything. How's that? Okay, so you can see. Yeah, here we go. You see how this gap is pretty close? So it looks like things that are selling in the condos were actually selling over asking a lot. Let me just go back to this one here. Oh, this one here is actually really, really close. The line almost touched there too. But now you can see the gap is kind of really big, meaning a lot of homes that are sold are not actually selling over asking in the freehold. But in the condo world, it looks like it's leveling off, pretty steadily. Now, what does this graph tell me? This graph tells me that with all the condo inventory coming on the market, the buyers are not absorbing it as much, and so there is actually there's a huge gap between what's coming on the market and what is the buyers buying. So this actually tells me that if you were in the market to buy condo, it looks like a really good time to buy condo because you're going to get a discount, or you may be getting discount because there is sitting inventory, and then when there's sitting inventory, there's less competition in multiple offers, and you may be able to find a deal. So that's what this chart tells me here. Now let's go over to this chart here, which I made. Let's see here. Here we go. Okay, so this here I want to share with you guys because let's see, my cursor's here. To understand things that are selling. So these are only focused on homes that has been sold, okay? And I want to kind of divide it up. Things that has been sold under 96%, things that are sold at 97 to 100% of their asking price, things that are sold like over asking, like 101 to 110% over asking, and anything that's sold way above asking, which is 111% and over. Right? That's way over. So I want to see what buyers are doing, what sellers are doing, how things are being sold, so I can get a good indication. Let's say if I had a seller, what strategy should we be picking to choosing to do in this kind of market? And if I had a buyer, what kind of offers should we be putting in? Because then we can know how the market is doing based on what are sold. So this is since June 12th to June 18th. So, and it goes backwards from there. So the most recent week that I have, you can see that a lot of the homes are selling kind of at asking price or just a little bit below asking, right? And so if I had a seller, right, this may be depending on the area again, but according to this, for the whole GTA area, according to this, it looks like your strategy will be good if you were listing it at market value, right? There are homes that selling over way over asking, kind of over asking. And a lot of homes are actually selling at 96% and below. So you know what this means? That if I had a seller, that means there are deals out there to be bought, because a lot of sellers looks like at this point is, asking a little bit above market. And so there's kind of a little discount, like 96% of and below of asking price lets me know that if if I had a buyer, that I could be looking for deals nowadays, right? And so this just talks about, the past weeks. I've been looking at past weeks to see about how it's been doing. But it looks like the past, month almost, that, listing at market value seems to be the one that's working the most. And so this graph down here just kind of indicates, it's the graph above, just kind of combined. So I combined the anything over asking and under asking into this graph here for freehold. Just want to compare, just a quick comparison to see who's selling more homes, over asking or under asking, right? You want to see that kind of like what's working better. And so you can see that the blue line is anything that's market value and below, and the green line is everything that's over asking. And it looks like in today's market, everything that's 100% and below is selling more. So that's just kind of, numbers I like to look at to figure out how the market is doing. So let's take a look at the condo side, right? You can't leave the condo alone. Now this condo, I believe, I did the whole GTA. So meaning it includes Peel, Durham, York, and Halton, I think it was. Peel, York, and Toronto, of course. And again, I want to look at the same thing, anything that's below asking, over asking, and how much below over asking, right? And so as you can see in the condo area, now the condos, I can't really update you like the week that just passed or the week before that. It's just that condo takes a little bit more time to update because they have status certificate or whatever it may be. Condo just takes a little bit more time to update than freehold. And so usually condo there, I have to wait like a week or two for the actual number to appear. So for this one, June 5th to June 11th, so the beginning of the month, it looks like a lot of condos, like significantly condos, were selling at market value. Like if you had a listing, if you were a seller selling your home at that time and you had it at market value, it looks like the best thing to do for your home at that time. Way over asking, there's just a very small percentage. And you can see here 96% and below, it looks like there hasn't been a lot of as many homes as there was in, let's see over here, in the freehold. So you can see here, let's do the same week. So here, let's do June 5th week in the freehold here. You can see that anything that was below 96% and a little bit at asking, it's almost the same number, like there are a lot, almost the same amount of numbers, the same numbers. And in condos, you can see that there is significantly different. So, which also indicates that maybe the condo market is a little bit healthier, right? A lot of things are selling at market value. And same thing down here for the condos. I, again, gathered everything that was below asking and then above asking in one kind of bar graph to see which range was selling a lot more. And of course, at this moment, 100% and below seems to be the ideal price range things are selling in. So that's what I just wanted to share with you guys. Let me just go back to just me. There we go. So that was my market update. I just wanted to share with you guys what I see that's happening in the real estate market, freehold, and of course condos, and how are they selling, how many are coming on the market. I like to see how much inventory comes on the market and then how many people actually buys it. Then that will kind of indicate of how many leftover inventory there is. If we have a lot of leftover inventory, then the market will cool down a little bit. If we don't have enough inventory, then we'll go crazy hot again. And also it will indicate to me if we, as the days go by, if we have more and more inventory left over, right, then that will be kind of in a downward trend for the real estate market, right? And so right now we're just watching the market to see what's going on because there is another interest rate hike, and I want to see how that's going to affect the market. If, the buyers are absorbing any of the inventory that's coming on, are they absorbing half, all, who knows, right? No one has a crystal ball, but I will update with you with the numbers weekly to see how the real estate market is doing. So if you have any questions, of course, feel free to leave in the comment below, direct message me if you like. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you guys come back next week to get more information on what is happening in the real estate market. So here's my channel. I'm here at Facebook and YouTube, and I like to share with you guys everything that I know so that you guys can know too. That's all I have for today. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye for now.